Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and there's been a huge card dump on the Play Hearthstone website, on the card site, basically the rest of the expansion, and we're gonna rapid fire through this. There is a ton of cards, a lot of them are kind of pack fillerish, you know, the neutral stuff, and of course the class cards will be very spectacular. We'll mix it all up as we go through, but let's go through all the new cards and see what's gonna be busted and what's not gonna be so busted in our final epic review video. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, kind of the last chance or so to enter the giveaway and all of that, so sub to the channel, like, comment, all that good stuff, and we're giving away 2 pre-orders. There'll be more giveaways to come, but this is our first big one. Anyways, we have Gangster, 2 mana 4/2 stealth neutral minion. After your opponent plays a minion, attack it, reminiscent of a Hunter card way back in the day that was like a 7 mana 9/9 beast that would do the same thing, but this basically dies to everything, and it's kind of like counterintuitive to a stealth minion that you want to probably push aggression with. I'm gonna give this a 1 in standard, 1 in wild. Don't see it seeing play. We have a new priest epic spell, Gift of the Naru, 1 mana holy spell. Restore 3 health to all characters. If any are still damaged, draw a card. So it's like Norshire Cleric, except the minion must still be damaged. This could be an enemy minion too. This is to all characters. This is to all heroes, and you draw a card. So there's some potential for this to be a card draw engine for a priest. You don't have access to Wild Pyromancer anymore in standard, but you know, you get a couple draws out of this, you're pretty happy, and it shouldn't be that hard to manipulate. This could definitely see play, and this could easily cost 0. You could get off Wand Maker. Yeah, I'll give this a 3 in standard, a 3 in wild, because Wild Pyro is there. There are some shenanigans you can definitely do in wild. It's a pretty powerful card. We have Glaciate, another frost spell. Shaman needs a lot of them for this free shaman thing to work. 6 mana, discover an 8-cost minion, summon, and freeze it. Yikes. So whatever you summon, you can't really attack with, even if you get like Alakir, the Windlord. It has charge, but you can't summon it. Obviously, you discover an 8-cost minion. It's either a shaman or a neutral minion. This free shaman stuff just looks super weak. I'm gonna give this a 2 in standard, 2 in wild. 6 mana do nothing effectively unless you hit a taunt. Just feels pretty bad, but I mean, it curves into your new legendary and all that. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on free shaman. We have Glory Chaser, 3 mana 4/3 warrior minion. After you play a taunt minion, draw a card. So this can be a bit of a draw engine. We saw that 3 mana 2/4 that adds more taunts to your hand. In wild, there's like a 2/3 that adds 1/1 taunts to your hand. That could be pretty good, and maybe you want that card draw, but I think warrior has access to better card draw, and I still don't see taunt warrior being a thing. I will give this a 2 in standard, 2 in wild. We have Grave Defiler, another 1 mana 2/1 minion for warlock. Battle Cry, copy a fell spell in your hand. So yeah, it's 1 mana, kind of draw a card. It's kind of like Cobalt Librarian in a way. Solid card. If you're running fell spells, I don't see why you wouldn't want more. And there's some good fell spells being introduced this expansion. I will give this a 3 in standard and a 3 in wild. Very solid card. We have Heart of the Wild, 3 mana druid spell. Give a minion +2/+2, then give your beast +1/+1. I'm assuming it's only on the board, so it's got to go into that beast druid thing. You give one specific minion +2/+2 for 3, which isn't great, but if you hit like what, 2 beasts, then this is really good. I don't know about beast druid, but with Glowfly Swarm, this can be like an incredible board presence, right? Like this on Glowfly Swarm is a lot of stats. The glowflies are beasts. For that reason, I'll give it a 3 in standard, a 3 in wild, but there's a good chance it won't see that much play. We have Herald of Loch Halar, 4 mana 3/5 battle cry, draw a frost spell. It's like Gnomish Inventor with better stats, and it tutors a frost spell. Basically, cards like this have historically seen some play. It's draw, it's 4 mana, but it's specifically tutorable, and if you're playing that Frost Shaman deck, you definitely need this card. I'm not sold on it, but these cards typically see play, so I'll give it a 3 in standard, 2 in wild. We have Hold the Bridge, 3 mana holy spell for Paladin, so you can tutor it with your Knight of Anointment, and you can discount it and all of that. You give a minion +2/+1 and Divine Shield. It gains lifesteal until the end of a turn. There's a lot better buff effects. It kind of goes well with the new Paladin Legendary, where you double up on the effects, so it'll get lifesteal that turn. That's basically the main thing I would couple it with, because that's a lot of lifesteal. That's going to be a ton of healing in one turn. It's just a bit expensive, and the stats aren't amazing on it, but you do give it Divine Shield, you protect it. So Just for the new legendary alone, the synergy might be worth it, and especially make a big Libram. That's a big life swing, and healing is good. So I will give it a 3 in standard, a 3 in wild. Libram Paladin card is what this looks like to me. Maybe it's like a 1 of, and it can give you a big swing. We have Humongous Owl, 7 mana, 8/4 beast. Death Rattle, deal 8 damage to a random enemy. It's like a gigantic leper gnome, but it can hit anything. This is terrible. It's just terrible card. This is a terrible card. I'm giving this 1 in standard, 1 in wild. The stats are bad, and the fact that this 8 damage could literally just hit a 1/1 is just absolutely horrendous. We have Ice Revenant, 4 mana, 4/5. We have another Yeti in stats, elemental. Whenever you cast a frost spell, gain +2/+2. This can be good in Frost Shaman, but good in Mage with like Ray of Frost and Wild, or just, you know, Frost spells in general. There's a lot of cheap ones in Mage. Do you care about that board presence? Maybe in that big spell Mage, you might want to put this in there to help get you to your late game. It's got potential. I'll give it 3 in standard, 3 in wild, because I don't know, Ray of Frost in this, Apprentice, that could be actually some pretty silly memes with going in on Ice Revenant and a bunch of cheap frost spells. We already talked about Ice Trap, so we'll skip over that one. We have Ice Blood Garrison, 2 mana warrior spell. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all minions this last 3 turns. So it's like a whirlwind every turn. How good is that? Not fantastic. I would think of like Acolyte of Pain, Armorsmith, Frothing were like meta in the game these days. That'd be pretty good. You need to really utilize the Enrage on it. 1 whirlwind proc just doesn't do a ton, but it's cheap for the most part. It's 2 mana, deal 3 over 3 turns. I just think it's underwhelming. I'll give it a 2 in standard, 2 in wild. I don't think it'll really be that big a deal. We have Ice Hoof Protector, 6 mana, 2/10 taunt. Freeze any character damaged by this minion. Decent arena card, absolutely not a ladder card, even though it's got a good amount of health. This effect has historically just never been very good. Shaman used to have it as like a 2/7 for 5 mana, and that saw basically no play ever. I'm going to give it a 1 in standard and a 1 in 1. We have Iron Deep Trog, 1 mana, 1/2. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a copy of this. So this is like a really cheap Trog, a really annoying card, but you only get a 1/2. I mean, I guess if you buff it up, right, it's a copy of this. If you like hand buff this or give it like a Blessing of Kings, that can get pretty annoying pretty fast. But the Trog cards have historically never seen play, very little. This we saw more with like the whole meeting post stuff. That was a little bit better in Ogremancer and all that. I'm going to give this a 1 in standard, 1 in wild. The flavor's cute. It's a cute little card, but I doubt it sees a meta play. We have Kobold Taskmaster, 3 mana, 2/4. Neutral minion battle cry. Add 2 armor scraps to your hand that give +2 health to a minion. And an armored scrap, by the way, is 1 mana spell that gives a minion +2 health. I could see this scene play in like a Nazmani Priest, potentially, just to give yourself fuel for your spells. But overall, like, 1 mana, give a minion +2 health. It's just not really anything. I'll give it a 2 in standard, 2 in wild, just for the Nazmani synergies, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be a meta card. We have a neutral legendary, Kolrak the Blood Rager, 4 mana, 3/5, Death Rattle. If this wasn't honorably killed, resummon Korak, so this has to be precisely killed or silenced or transformed, or else this minion will never go away. It's kind of interesting. It's a really unique card. It really depends on how this will be like a litmus test of how good is honorable kill. If honorable kill sucks and it's really hard to get an honorable kill, then this card will be great. It's like a failsafe on the mechanic. If the mechanic's bad, this card's great because you can never kill it. I have no idea. This one is super hard to evaluate, but typically a 4 mana like card like this doesn't see play. It's really cute. I think it's really cute. Not so much the art. I think the flavor of the design. So I'll give it a 2 in standard, 2 in wild, but it probably doesn't see meta play. We have Legionnaire. Look at the stat line. 6 mana, 9/3, Death Rattle. Give all minions to your hand +2/+2. This is incredibly slow. Maybe Rogue can utilize this with like their Death Rattle synergy stuff. They're probably the only class, but they've got such better things to do. This is just terrible stats, slow, active everything. I'm giving it a 1 standard and wild. I don't think this is going to enable hand buff stuff. It's just a little too awkward. We have a new Priest Elemental, Luminous Geode, 2 mana, 1/4. After friendly minion is attacked or healed, give it +2 attack. So whatever minion is healed, it will gain the attack. You get to buff it, but I don't see heal priest being a thing. I know there's a couple heal cards. You can combo it with that 1 mana spell and give like a big board presence of plus attack, right? Because it'll heal the whole all characters and all. But yeah, I'm not sold. I'm gonna give it a 2 in standard and a 3 in wild, because I think there's some sick combos you can do with this, with the wild pyro. There's some way better, cooler stuff, and I cannot wait. Mark is going to have some combos with that card, I can tell you that much. We have Piggyback Imp, 3 mana 4/1 Imp demon, and it's neutral, and you get another 4/1 Imp. It's terrible. Both bodies die to like everything. That's a 1 in standard, 1 in wild. We have Pride Seeker, 3 mana 2/4 druid card, battle cry. Your next choose 1 card, costs 2 less. So yeah, I mean, you play this, you can save the next choose 1. This is actually pretty insane. You play this on 3, your nourish costs 4 on curve, and a lot of decks like to run nourish in like alignment. This is additional ways of ramping early. This is a great card. This is a great card in standard, especially where you're running nourish in alignment druid, where you're drawing it and all that. I'm gonna give this a 4 in standard. I think this card is pretty sick. You want to bank that choose 1 cost, but it's a sick card. And hell, even in wild, Malfurion, the hero card, counts as a choose 1 card, so you can cheat out Malfurion with this. Even this is a really good card. I'm gonna give it a 4 in standard. I'll give it 3 in wild because Oaken Summons messes with it, but really good card, really good card. We have a Paladin spell, Protect the Innocent, 5 mana, rare spell, summon a 5/5 defendant with taunt. If your hero was healed this turn, summon another. So you gotta go with the whole heal Paladin thing. There's not a lot of great heal stuff. We already looked at that 1 spell and all that other stuff. I don't think the defenders with taunt is really gonna do a heck of a lot. I'm gonna give this a 2 in standard and wild. I know there's some healing stuff you can do with like the medics off that 4-drop, summons 2/2 medics with lifesteal, but there's just not enough healing to make this consistently worth it, in my opinion. We have a 10 mana warrior spell, first one since like Dimensional Ripper, I believe. Shield Shatter, deal 5 damage to all minions, costs 1 less for each armor you have. So if you have 10 armor, this is 0 mana, deal 5 to all minions. So this is a really sweet AoE card for an armor druid, and you know, or sorry, not armor druid, armor warrior. And with that 2 mana spell that gives you 10 armor in 1 turn, and then you lose 5, you can play that and then this, and boom, boom. 2 mana, deal 5. That's incredible. This gets a 4 from me in standard, and if this was odd cost, it'd be insane in odd warrior, but it's even cost, so rip that idea. I'll give it a 2 in wild, but this is an incredibly good card because, you know, mana cheating, it's really not that hard to gain armor. If shield block was still in standard, oh my goodness, I'd probably give it 5, but as it stands, it's definitely going to make that 10 mana card probably worth running. We have Reflecto Engineer, 3 mana 2/4 neutral minion, battlecry, swap the attack and health of all minions in both players' hands. What a crazy weird card. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. This, who, like, you could build this to like do some like jank charge OTK on your own stuff, mess with your opponent. I don't know. This card's getting a 3 in standard and wild. It probably sees no play, but it's too freaking cool, too spectacular, and too weird not to consider it a possible player. We have Ram Commander, 2 mana 2/2 battle cry minion that adds 2 1/1 rams with rush to your hand. I don't know, maybe Rush Warrior comes back and runs this. Other than that, it's an arena card. I'll give it a 2 in standard, a 2 in wild. We have Seeds of Destruction, new Warlock spell. Fell spell, shuffle 4 rifts in your deck. They summon a 3/3 Dread Imp when drawn. This is just really good in the whole Fell Warlock thing. We saw that AoE. You play this, those rifts into your deck, 4 rifts, they're all Fell spells. If you look here, a Fell Rift is a spell spell, so you're likely drawing one of those, dealing 3 damage, and also getting a 3/3. Solid card. I'll give it a 3 in standard, probably a 2 in wild. Too slow, but I think it enables a lot of strategies you want to do. We have a Mage Minion, Shivering Sorceress, 1 mana 2/2 minion, battlecry, reduce the cost of the highest cost spell in your hand by 1. You want to run this a big spell mage to try and get to your big spells a little bit quicker. I don't know if that deck's going to be viable, but you're probably running this in that deck. I will give it a 3 in standard, a 3 in wild. We have Sleet Breaker, 2 mana 3/2 elemental, a new elemental for shaman, so you can discount this with a Granite Forgeborn and all of that. Add a Wind Chill to your hand. A Wind Chill is a 1 mana frost spell, freeze a minion, draw a card. That is an incredible spell, very good spell. This is just a great minion, even if you're not playing free shaman. it's just a good card. You're playing Elemental Shaman, you can freeze a big target, you can cycle through your deck. All around, this is just a ridiculously strong card for Shaman. I will give this a 4 in Standard, and arguably I'll give it a 4 in Wild, because you just like cycling and drawing cards. It's just good. Shaman struggles with card draw. This helps with that. So yeah, 4 in both. You do have to pay a mana for it, but still, really solid card. We have Snowblind Harpy, 3 mana, 3/4, neutral minion battlecry. If you're holding a frost spell, gain 5 armor. I mean, honestly, the big spell mage needs a card like this. You're probably gonna be playing frost spells in that deck. This gives you some life gain to try and get to the late game. I could see this as like a mage card and shaman if that free shaman thing comes together, which I don't think it will, but the big spell mage has a better chance in my opinion. I will give this a 3 in Standard, a 2 in Wild, but yeah, they're gonna need that, you know, that life gain. We have Snowfall Guardian, another shaman elemental, 5 mana, 3/3, battlecry, freeze all other minions, gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion. So this includes your own. This is a Frost Nova on a 5-drop, on a neutral, and if you just freeze 2 things, you're at +5/+5. You want to probably freeze 3 minions, and then that's good, but this is more in the free shaman archetype. You don't really want to freeze your own stuff, and it's also meta dependent on how much minions are in the meta, but I'll give it a 3. It's Frost Nova on a freaking 5-drop that you can cheat out with Granted Forgeborn and all of that. Really good card. 3 in Standard, 3 in Wild, because Shudderwalk actually could probably utilize this as well, just as a board freeze to stall into your Lurker below and your Grumble and all of that. We have Stone Hearth Vindicator, 3 mana, 3/1 Paladin Epic. Draw a spell that costs 3 or less. It costs 0 this turn. Solid card. Paladin lacks card draw, and this cycles through your deck. You can get like a Hand of a Doll played immediately. Really just solid card draw card for Paladin. It will see play 100%. I'll give it a 4 in Standard, 4 in Wild, just because, yeah, Paladin really does lack that card draw, and this is a great way of doing it. And you can, you know, cast a spell. You'll have a target for the spell if it's a buffing one, because, well, this will be on the board. We have Storm Pike Aid Station pre-spell. At the end of your turn, give your minions +2 health last 3 turns. I don't know. I don't see this health buff priest thing working out. I'm going to give this a 2 in Standard, 2 in Wild. Pretty slow, but it's, you know, it's a constant effect. But without Divine Spirit Inner Fire in Standard and how slow this would be for Wild, I just don't see it. We have Storm Pike Battle Ram, 4 mana, 4/3 beast for Hunter Rush. Death Rattle, your next beast costs 2 less. Pretty good in like the beast hunter thing, right? You can cheat out Rat King a little bit better. You can do some other stuff. Solid card. I'll give it a 3 in Standard, 2 in Wild, because I do think that whole beast hunter thing is going to come together at some point. The Rat King's going to be meta, I tell you what. We got Storm Pike Marshal, 4 mana, 2/6 taunt minion. If you took 5 or more damage on your opponent's turn, so if you've been getting hit in the face, this costs 1 mana. So if you're getting smarked down, you can play a 1 mana 2/6. If you don't, you play a 4 mana 2/6, and that's not that bad. It's a weird, kind of cool anti-aggro card. A lot of these aggro decks don't do a lot of damage in the early game, so I don't know how worthwhile this is, but it's a cool card. I'll give it a 2 in Standard, 2 in Wild. More likely an arena pickup, but, you know, not the worst card in the world. We have Storm Pike Quartermaster, 2 mana, 2/2 neutral minion. After you cast a spell, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. You could do some miracle stuff with this in Priest. Again, with Nazmani and all that stuff, just go off, or Apprentice in Wild and Mage. Probably not worth the run, but it's not terrible. I'll give it a 2 in Standard, a 2 in Wild. We have To the Front, 2 mana warrior spell. Your minions cost 2 less this turn, but not less than 1. It's Summoning Portal from Warlock as a spell. Pretty good in, I guess, Big Warrior, but you're spending 2 mana to discount 2. It basically pays for itself and not less than 1. So you want to play this in a Big Warrior deck, I'm pretty sure. But you know, it couples with everything. The first 2 mana basically is free, and then you get extra stuff on top of that. Maybe you just want to play a mid-range type of deck and you just spam a bunch of minions. If we've seen anything, Mana Cheat's good. Summoning Portal was kind of bad in Warlock outside of like Snip Snap Flock, but that was a 4 mana minion. This is a 2 mana spell. I'll give this a 3 in Standard, a 3 in Wild. It has potential to actually be good. We have Tower Sergeant, 4 mana, 4/4 neutral minion battlecry. If you control at least 2 other minions, gain +2/+2. Arena card, 1 star in Standard, 1 star in Wild. We have Troll Centurion, 8 mana, 8/8 rush minion. Has honorable kill, deal 8 damage to the enemy hero. This is like a face card, but it's 8 mana and has rush. Really good arena card. Really good arena card. If it gets the honorable kill, right? But it has to, it for 8 health. Like, it's got 8 attack. Honorable Kill is not gonna be that easy to pull off on this thing. It's probably just an arena card. I'm gonna give it a 1 in standard, a 1 in wild. We have Vitality Surge, 2 mana Paladin spell, draw a minion, restore health to your hero equal to its cost. So you're playing big Paladin, you get a bunch of health. It's really good with all their big stuff going on. Again, I don't think that strategy is going to work, and you kind of want to cheat those minions out with like Commencement and all that stuff. Unless I see something that helps you cheat those minions out of your actual hand other than the Alliance Legendary, which is not consistent enough, I'm not sold. It is 2 mana draw a card, it is 2 mana potentially heal a bunch, but we'll see. I'll give it a 3. It's definitely one of the stronger of those cards. A 3 in standard, and in wild, the dual players might like it, but then you're ruining your duels. I don't know. I'll give it a 3 across the board, but it's kind of a funky one. We have Wild Paw, Cavern, 4 mana Shaman spell. It's not a frost spell. At the end of your turn, summon a 3/4 elemental that freezes its last 3 turns. It's just really good. You're getting, what, 4 mana? You're getting 12-16 in stats for 4 mana across 4 turns. This is obnoxious. This is really obnoxious. And yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 in standard and a 4 in wild. Like, that's just so many stats that it will just keep on coming, and they're just annoying bodies that freeze. I just think that's an absurd amount of stats for not that much mana. We have Wild Paw Knoll, 5 mana 4/5 rush rogue minion, costs 1 less for each card you've added to your hand from another class. So more Burgle Rogue support. This card's sweet. It definitely encourages playing Burgle Rogue, and this can be very quickly very cheap, and that can help Burgle Rogue players stay alive. Getting the win will be difficult, but really cool card, and does have anti-synergy with the Rogue Legendary because it'll transform into a class card, but I'm gonna give it a 3 just because I think the Burgle Rogue stuff is really cool. 3 in standard, 3 in wild because I'm feeling generous. We have Wind Chill. We saw add a Wind Chill to your hand. 1 mana Shaman spell, freeze a minion, draw a card. This gets a 4 in standard, 4 in wild. It's a freeze card. It draws a card. Really solid. I can't understate or overstate, whatever the word is, how important card draw is to Shaman, and this is great. And with like Spirit of the Frog in wild, you can do some really, really good stuff. We have Double Agent, 3 mana 3/3 rogue minion battlecry. If you're holding a card from another class, summon a copy of this. This is a 3 mana 6/6. This is a legit Burgle card. This is pretty easy to activate by turn 3, and you get 3 mana 6/6 in stats, and you can Shadow Step this and get another one. You can actually do something proactive in Burgle Rogue. It's a solid card. I'm going to give it a 3 in standard, and definitely 3 in wild, where there's a lot more good Burgle cards. Definitely a powerful card. We have Frantic Hippogriff, 5 mana 3/7 beast, so that's a lot of stats for 5 mana. Rush, Honorable Kill, gain Wind Fury, so if this kills a 3 health minion, you can attack again. Is that good? In arena, it's great. On ladder, probably not. I'll give it a 2 in standard, 2 in wild. Again, not a terrible card, but definitely it belongs in arena. We have another Frost spell for Shaman, trying to make Frost free Shaman a thing. 2 mana, deal 3 damage. Honorable Kill, your opponent's next spell costs 2 more. It's like a Lothebish effect. You got to get Honorable Kill on this, but even if you don't, it's 2 mana, deal 3. That's historically fine. If you're playing free Shaman, you're playing this card. I keep saying I'm not sold on free Shaman. I'm not really sold on this card that much, but 2 mana, deal 3 removal is almost always seen play. Almost always. So I'll give it 3 in standard wild for that reason. It can't be that bad, right? And especially it's got upside to it. We have Frost Wolf Warmaster, 4 mana 3/3 neutral minion, costs 1 less for each card you've played this turn. I mean, you're playing Rogue. This is always 0 mana. Always 0 mana. You're always playing like a million cards in a turn. Do you care about that in the Rogue decks? Not really. You rather just have better cards. But, you know, maybe it's worth it in those decks. But I see this just as a Rogue card. I really do. I mean, maybe Mage, Miracle Mage, or Miracle Priest, but it's just a 0 mana 3/3. It's just, that's not enough to really, like, you want that in like aggro classes where you have like the Dread Sail Corsair and like Frenzied Fellwing and stuff like that. I don't think you want it in these like card spam decks. So I'm going to give it a 2 in standard, a 2 in wild. Not really going to make the cut. We have another Fell spell for Warlock, Full Blown Evil. 3 mana spell, deal 5 damage, randomly split amongst all enemy minions, repeatable this turn. So this basically is Echo without having the word Echo on it. And it's a good Fell spell. I mean, it only hits enemy minions. That clears a lot. It's kind of a worse Dark Skies, but it's still pretty good. I think this sees play. I'm going to give this a 3 in standard, probably a 2 in in Wild because you have Dark Skies and you'll probably just play that instead. But overall, yeah, good card. And we've seen that the Echo effect can be pretty reasonable, and it has synergy with all the other Fel Spell stuff going on. We have Fellwalker, 6 mana, 3/7 demon for Warlock. Taunt Battlecry casts the highest cost Fel Spell from your hand, and most Fel Spells you don't really want to cast that I've seen. You know, you deal damage to minions, you can hit your own stuff, you can wipe your own stuff. It's a mana cheat card. I don't know what Fel Spell you really, I mean, you can get you play the 4 mana one that summons a demon, but most of them are going to have anti-synergy with this. I'm not really sold on this card that much at all. But it is the highest cost one, so you can kind of manipulate it. I'm still going to give this a 2 in Standard, 2 in Wild. I'm not really convinced, but maybe I'm not thinking of the spells that would work. We have Arcane Brilliance, 4 mana mage spell. Add a copy of a 7, 8, 9, and 10 cost spell in your deck to your hand. Okay, this card's really good. Holy crap, big spell mage is probably a thing. This is ridiculous. 4 mana draw 4. You can cheat it with the other cards we talked about earlier. And in Wild, you have like Naga Sandwich. You play this in a Naga Sandwich, all those cards are 5. That's insane. This is getting a 4 in Standard and Wild. Big Spell Mage, okay, it's got a shot. It's got a shot. This is just an egregiously ridiculous card to make sure Big Spell Mage has a chance. And yeah, this is the card that might actually tie it all together. Holy crap. We have Axe Berserker, Warrior Minion, 4 mana, 3/5 rush, honorable kill, draw a weapon. This is really bad if you don't draw the weapon. Otherwise, it's just a 3/5 rush, and that's not really good enough in Warrior. And you already have the quest line that draws a weapon. And I'm going to give this a 2 in Standard, 2 in Wild. It's not terrible, but it's not really good to see big play. And then we have Bless, pre-spell, give a minion +2 health, and then set its attack to be equal to its health. So this is Inner Fire. This is Inner Fire. They have brought Inner Fire back to Standard in a way. You don't have Divine Spirit. You have a lot of other clunky stuff to make it work, but this is the payoff card for all the other plus health stuff. I'm not sold on it, but Nazmani can create some pretty scary stuff. And well, you have a charge minion in Standard now with Smite. So it's an expensive charge minion, but you never know. So I'll give this a 10 out of 3. It's definitely the most powerful card. It's the finisher in that whole deck. I just don't know if it'll work out, but yeah, looks like Inner Fire Priest is back in Standard. And we have Bloodguard, 5 mana, 4/7 neutral minion. Whenever this minion takes damage, give your minions +1 attack. I will give that a 1 in Standard, 1 in Wild. Definitely pack filler-ish. We have Bunker Sergeant, 3 mana, 2/4. If your opponent has 2 or more minions, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Another arena card. I will give it a 1 in Standard, a 1 in Wild. And we have a new Paladin weapon, Cavalry Horn, 5 mana, 3/2. Death Rattle, summon the lowest cost minion in your hand. So that's the card that makes Big Paladin have that payoff where you draw that minion, it heals you up, and then you cheat it out. You do have to swing twice with this to make it active, which is slow, and the attack sucks. But then you can start doing some pretty broken stuff. If Big Paladin's going to be a thing, Cavalry Horn is the card to get it there. I will give it a 3 in Standard and 3 in Wild, where there's a lot more synergies to work with that. And then we have Contraband Stash, Rogue Spell, replay 5 cards from other classes you've played this game. Really cool, fun card. It's just it varies on what you're gonna get, but you know, you cheat out a cheap Death Rattle with that other spell, it could be pretty good, but you need to have played 5 other cards, or at least close to it, for this to be probably worth it. I'll give it a 3 in Standard, 3 in Wild, just because the Brutal Rogue stuff seems really, really cool. And then we have Desecrated Graveyard, 3 mana Warlock spell. At the end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion to summon a 4/4 shade. Last 3 turns, you got to be playing a lot of imps and self-sacrifice stuff. Otherwise, this does nothing. I don't know if that token Imp Zoo is really going to take off when this card would even be a good part of it. I'm give it 2 in Standard, 2 in Wild. I don't see it being a meta player. We have Direwolf Commander, 3 mana, 2/5 minion. Honorable kill, summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth. That is 1 in Standard, 1 in Arena. Definitely an Arena card. And there you go. That's the last of all the cards. That's every card. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's been a really fun series to cover everything, and we got lots of fun stuff in store over the next few days, so make sure to check out the channel. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.